Hello, everyone, and welcome to, what are we calling this? The Scots on the Run
Scots on the Run
podcast. Yeah. Yes, where we take a behind-the-scenes look at what's happening in the Gordon College cross-country and track and field programs. I'm Ben Schneider, an alum of Gordon College and of the program, alongside
Head
Coach
Coach,
Miela.
Head Coach Mickey Miela. I've been here a year now and excited to get this going, man.
So, Coach, this was kind of your idea. I mean, obviously, I have a bit of a podcasting background myself, so I'm happy to be here to help you out with this, but why did you want to do this podcast here as we get started here with this season?
Well, obviously I think podcasting is just growing, and it's all about, for us, it's all about building a community that goes beyond just, the walls of our team, right? We want to get parents involved. We want to get alumni involved. And, I try to send out emails and stuff, and sometimes those things fall short. But if we can give you a quick 10, 15, 20-minute update on what's going on in the program to keep people connected, honestly, I think that's what it's all about, is just kind of continuing to expand the community and stay connected with the bigger Gordon cross-country track and field community.
And for those that don't know you, you came here from California, is that right?
Yeah.
Originally?
That's right.
Your second year here?
I'm starting my second year here. I originally from Southern California. I went to school out in, I went to Stonehill College. So I came out here for school. But then after working here for a little bit, I took a job back in Southern California, and then I was there for about 5 years, and recently moved back after my wife and I had kids. My wife's from Southern New Hampshire, so yeah, we were just trying to get closer to family and raise our children here. So yeah.
And you have a new assistant coach this year as well.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Gordon a little bit?
Yeah, Gordon Luco comes from Pittsburgh. He ran at Duquesne, and we started the interview process back in May. I think we started looking for a replacement. Right around that time, and we had a decent, I guess, a decent candidate pool, and as we kind of continued to narrow down candidates, we just thought that he's very professional. He's ready to take that next step in his career, and since he's gotten to campus about a month ago, he's been everything and more of what this program needs. And frankly, as this program continues to grow, we're going to have to continue to bring in coaches just like him, to care for our athletes and to put our young men and women in position to not only be successful in the track or on the track, but to be successful in life beyond their time at Gordon.
So we have a meet coming up this week on Friday, first one of the year.
That's right.
It's a Battle of the North Shore.
Battle of the North Shore, man.
So for those that don't know about this race, why is it such a big deal? Why is it such a great way to kick off our season here?
Yeah, well, it was started. Was it your freshman year that it started, or was it started before?
I think it was the year before.
Okay.
And it was just us in Endicott at the start.
So it hasn't even been going on for 10 years yet, but it still is. The tradition really is, obviously, as the Battle of the North Shore. It's between us and Endicott, and we. In years past, we've invited another team to participate. But really, there is a Lighthouse Trophy, and that is solely, it's just Endicott and Gordon that compete for that. And it's always been a great way, at least for us last year, it's a great way to start the season. Just a friendly rivalry. Our kids often see their athletes, on runs and things like that. So, we have a great relationship with them. We are very competitive with Endicott. We want to beat them, but we also, we just love the opportunity to compete. So.
And is it still a 5K for both the men and the women?
Yeah, it's that's a great point. It's a 5K for both, which obviously throughout the season, typically women run 6K and men will run 8K. That's another reason why it's a really good. It's a competitive, shorter race, so that we can kind of just get a gauge of where we're at. Both teams get an opportunity to be a part of a competitive race, but also. Just not have to put the pressure of being ready for the full distance quite yet. This year in particular, the one thing I forgot to mention as well is we've invited Roger Williams to join us. And like I said, so we typically only invite maybe one other team, and though they won't be competing for the Lighthouse Trophy, they will bring a very competitive team, which will make the entire race just that much faster and just make the quality of the meet that much better. So we're excited to host them. And again, both these schools are top-notch with great kids on them.
Yeah, I always kind of thought of it as like a preseason meet almost, because it's not the full distance. It's only against one, maybe
Right.
two other schools, but
Right.
it's a nice way to kind of get the competitive fire lit under you for the start of the season.
Exactly. It's a really nice on-ramp into competitive cross-country, especially for, again, everybody competing has not ran a competitive race in 4 months, right? So it's a nice way to shake the rust off, and especially for those freshmen, it's pretty standard that freshmen in high school, obviously previously they were running 5Ks in high school, so it's a nice transition for them as they get into college track as well. So it's just all around makes a ton of sense, and it's just good to race your friends.
So looking just beyond this meet specifically, what are you looking forward to? What excites you about the prospects that this season brings?
Yeah. I'm excited. One, I'm excited to not have my head spinning day one, right? I feel like my feet are on the ground. I feel like it's nice to start a season where I know everybody's name on the roster, right? Whereas obviously last year it was a bit, I was just catching up a lot. But yeah, so I think when I look at this team, and I was thinking about this as I was walking my dog actually, the great thing and the really fun thing about coaching in college is teams evolve, right? And every year that freshman class looks a little different. The senior class that left, leaves their mark in a different way. And it's just always fun to see, new teams have different things to be hopeful for. I know for us on the men's side, this is probably one of the deepest teams this program has probably ever seen when it comes to talent, not just sheer numbers of participants, but actual, I'm excited to see a different, our guys are really competitive and they're all running really well. And so I'm pretty confident we might have a different top 5, a different top 7 week to week. And it's really going to depend on who has a good day, who races well in that type of a course, that type of, those types of factors. So our men's team, we're really excited about the depth we have. And then on the women's side, obviously we're excited to see Rachel come back and defend her. I believe she's won it two times in a row, her title in the CCC. She was the only cross-country representative at D3 cross-country nationals last year. But yeah, if anybody remembers, or anybody was around last year, she ran basically right the day after a huge snowstorm, and it was not the ideal conditions for a national championship. So I know that she's hungry to get back to the national stage and really be able to perform and execute on that stage. And then her running mate, Carolyn Day, has had her sights set on making nationals probably since the beginning of this time last year. And partly that's because she's been making progress that is similar to what Rachel was at when Rachel was her age just a year prior. And she's come out and she's looked really strong. I mean, the team dynamic, the team community has looked very strong since day one here. And so, regardless of the results that may come, I think we're really excited about the community that's forming here, and so it's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, well, I guess Rachel's first semester would have been my last, so I was briefly teammates with her. So
Sure.
It's been fun to watch her continue to grow as a runner and
Totally.
See what her goals are for this year. And then Carolyn as well, I guess, is a year behind. So
Yes.
missed being teammates with her by a year, but great to see what
Right.
she might have in store for her
Totally.
season coming up as well.
Totally, man.
So what does a successful season in your eyes look like when you think of planning the year out? And when we get into indoor track, which I now understand is an official sport this year, and then outdoor track in the spring.
Right, and that's another thing that we've been making adjustments to. Having an official indoor varsity team means that our track athletes can start practicing sooner, which again, we're excited about that. We are just, we're excited to see this program continue to expand and continue to just to grow, and hopefully in our growth we also become more competitive. When I think of a successful season, I think the first step really, and this is our first step as a coaching staff, is we just want to care about the student athletes. We want to make sure that every young man and young woman in this program is put in a position to reach their full potential. And we think that obviously cross country, track and field, all that is a modality for teaching basically a life skill of putting the work in will eventually result in progress, right? And so, I think that's ultimately our hope, is that our athletes are wiser, our athletes are more mature by the time that they've finished their season. I think that's like goal number one. Are we investing in them as, sons and daughters of Christ, and can they hear the voice of God more clearly because of their participation in this program, right? I think obviously, so that's always going to be, the first step to success for us. But after that, I mean, if you want to talk about like a pure, just competitive side of things, we want to see every single one of our athletes run the fastest time that they've ever ran in their life, period. And if we do that, again, that's how we can kind of measure, are we making progress? That's what I've always felt I could ever ask of a young man or a young woman, that if you've ran the best time of your life, then that's you reaching your max potential for that day. You've set a new bar for yourself. And so my hope is that every runner on our team runs their best race on October 28th and November 11th. And those are our two biggest meets, our conference championship and our regional championship. And that they run the best race, not just of the season, but of their life on those days. And I think if we do that, the competitive side, where we rank and things like that, will take care of themselves.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, man, I know we were saying we want to keep this between 10 or 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So we're about there right now.
Right on.
At least to start. We'll see where this goes here.
Yeah.
This is only the pilot episode, of course.
Yeah.
So we're still trying to figure things out here. But
well, I'm grateful for bringing you on this year, and I'm excited for our coaching staff just as a whole. And like I said, I mean, I hope that what we're doing here is just bringing people more into our program and helping. We hope to promote the athletes on the team more directly, and maybe even bring some athletes on this. It'll be a good time.
All right. Well, I guess stay tuned. We're going to keep doing this throughout the year, and probably do a recap after the
we
should
Friday, right? We should definitely do that.
All right.
All right, man.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.
All right.